Hey guys, this is David. Quick update before the start of this episode. We are currently in the process of transitioning into including video content with the release of our episodes that will be up on YouTube. We mentioned this in this current episode as this one was supposed to be the debut of that. And we took a gamble. It didn't work because we corrupted the footage like immediately, and that's how it goes sometimes. We took a gamble and it didn't work, but now we know and we learned and we move forward. So I bring it up because we talk about it a bit in the episode itself. I just want to make it clear there is no video content yet. That is coming very soon. And just, yeah, that's the update. So thank you for bearing with us as we're making a lot of changes to the show, and we're very excited for what is to come. Thank you for your support and enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome to Straight Dude Date Night, a show where two straight dudes go on a date and they review it. My name is David Stallings and I am one of these straight dudes.
And I am Ricky Rivera, the other straight dude.
We did it!
We're here.
A whole year! We did it! A whole year! Continuous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We
Thank
made it
you.
happen. Thank you. A whole year. Continuous episodes without missing a beat. That was our goal. That was the goal we set out to do. And it has been such a privilege and a blessing to be able to do that. So I am stoked that we actually accomplished this, man.
We did it, and this is now the last episode ever. See you later.
Nope. We got so much more. Don't be scared. Don't be scared by that. We're not leaving. No, don't. I promise. There's still more. Honestly, we joke around, but just to start off, thank you so much for being a part of this with us. We did set out to have a goal of not missing a week, and
we've done it.
The last year of doing this has been so much fun. Also a note, you may be watching this on YouTube, and there's actually a video. This might just be a test thing, and we might lose this footage, but we are trying this today. So people out there, if you want to watch the video of our podcast that is now going to be on YouTube, either starting with this episode or the next one, but we're anticipating this one, okay?
This is it. If you're listening to us audio, we love you and keep doing your thing.
Yep.
But if you want to check us out in video, look, we got a set.
Look at our beautiful set.
Is that an Oscar? Wow.
Sure.
Whoa, that's crazy. You got a huge shelf with your Emmys, your Oscars.
Yeah, they're on the sides, which are definitely in the frame right now.
Wow,
right?
amazing.
Yeah, it's a God tier set. Oh, God. And now you can see us doing these actual visual things. So if you want to see all the stuff for the audio people, if you want to see all this stuff, check us out on YouTube at Straight Dude Date Night and subscribe there. All right, enough shilling. We have a movie to review.
Yes.
Arguably, I would say one of the biggest movies of the year, if not the biggest.
Not the movie of the year.
Not movie of the year. That passed.
But the biggest movie of the year. Yeah, I can't think of anything that's been more hyped.
In terms of marketing, it is astounding how much marketing has gone into this movie. Like, probably I feel like
almost as much as the budget.
Like they've been marketing this movie for like 2 years. I feel like it was like 2 summers ago that they put out the promo photo of, hey, Ryan Gosling is in it, and look, his hair is bleached.
Yep.
Like we have had a long time coming up to this movie,
and it was Barbie.
It was finally here. Straight up, the closer it got, I was less and less excited, though.
You know, actually, this movie has been in production since I believe I was reading it said 2009. That this movie has been in production and passed around from director to writer to even different actors. Like they said,
really?
I think it was 2016. Amy Schumer had the lead.
Oh, the movie would have been horrible.
It would have been awful.
That would have been a flop immediately.
Exactly why it got passed around again, and then after it got passed, she left.
Yeah,
and then it eventually ended up in the hands of Greta Gerwig.
Yeah,
and Warner Brothers. It actually went through 3 different studios. Originally, it was Universal. And then it became Sony, and now it's ended up with Warner Brothers. I was reading about it. Isn't that interesting? That's
wild.
It's passed through 3 different studios, almost 4 different directors, 3 different writers, and 2 different leads.
That's crazy.
Until they landed with this.
2009. I feel like, since it's a different company that's actually like spearheading it, it's Mattel actually behind it, right? And
yeah.
I don't think they've done a movie before, ever, right? Not that I'm aware of.
I don't think so. No.
No. So like maybe in that process of like, we're going to do it. Our IP is going to be out there. We're going to make a Barbie movie. Like really taking the time to figure things out. That's admirable. But 14 years, that's
isn't that
crazy amount of time.
Yeah, isn't that wild? That it's been that long since it's been taken around. So yeah, it's been passed on, and then until eventually ended up in the hands of Greta Gerwig and Warner Brothers, who officially just committed to it.
Yeah,
and just went with it.
You know what's interesting is I have talked to more people who've been more. I've expressed my uncertainty about the film mainly because I don't think that guys are primarily like that interested in the movie, but the more people I've talked to of like, I'm not sure how it's gonna be. More people have been like, but Greta Gerwig is running it, which honestly I know she's big, but I don't think I've seen any of her other stuff.
I didn't know who she was.
Like,
I still don't know what else she's done, and that's not like a discredit. I just genuinely have never heard of her before until Barbie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that people really respect and admire her. I just have never seen anything. I couldn't tell you one thing she's done.
Well, the other one that kept getting brought up to me was Little Women, which again, haven't seen it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that's a big following.
Is it?
Little Women? I mean, people who care about it, yeah, they'd love it. Well, I guess maybe not a big following. It's a very committed following.
Because I think she won a bunch of stuff for it too. Like I know she's a big deal. I don't think I processed her running the show, which honestly, for the first time watching a Greta Gerwig movie, this was a great first movie to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of pressure too. Like,
yeah.
What's up with all these brands though wanting to come up with fresh new IP and just grabbing brand new directors? Like, they did that with the Sonic movie too. Sonic, like,
who's the director on that? Do you know?
Exactly my point. It was his first. It was his directorial debut.
But Greta Gerwig is at least a recognizable name, right?
Yeah.
Like we haven't. You and I have not seen her other stuff, but it's
That's
a
true.
recognizable name, right?
It's true. Yeah. It's interesting that's like they're just like, no, we got to get first time people to come do these things.
Maybe it's the people that they happen to find being the most passionate about it, or they were they didn't have enough in their budget for trying to get Martin Scorsese or Christopher Nolan, or Wes Anderson.
Barbie. Wes Anderson probably could have done a Barbie movie.
I think so. It has the same kind of flair to it as a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, he probably could have done Barbie, but no, I mean, I think she did great. I think I definitely felt your vibe of not being too excited initially.
Yeah,
I just felt like everything leading up to it was very just pop culture hype, in the sense that like, we're just all hyped about it because we're all hyped about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody actually knows what the movie's about. We're just excited because it's Barbie.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, you mentioned this today already. I don't want to go too deep into this, but I think there was already a vibe around this movie that it was going to be political in some way too, or controversial in some way. And like, I can see that on it. There were moments that were like, okay, all right, but I was pleasantly surprised. There was less of that than I thought. I actually think the movie leaned into that element for a comedic effect, which I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah, there was a lot to it, and the other side of it too is, you know, it's Barbie. Like it's always been controversial in its own way. They've always had things around it. Like it just kind of makes sense to include it here. But yeah, I mean, that movie was, I will say, I had a lot more fun than I thought I was going to have. Me too. I really did think like, oh, this is just going to be a hype movie. We're just throwing in all these random actors. But every actor in it this is probably one of the first movies that has had a crazy big cast that was actually good. Yeah. Because we've seen plenty of movies over the last year that have had huge casts and turned out to be big stinkers because nobody invested in anything else other than the cast.
Well, I mean, the last two Margot Robbie movies we saw in theaters, Babylon and Amsterdam, were that.
Yeah, she just creates super teams of casts, and they're never good.
I guess Margot Robbie was in Asteroid City as well. She's in every like big actor team up movie.
Was Margot Robbie in Asteroid City?
She was at the very end during the meta moment where the main actor comes out into the backstage and then talks to the woman who is supposed to be
Right.
cast across the street. And it was
Yeah.
Margot
Wow.
Robbie.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
She's in
she
one
was.
scene, and that's
One
it.
scene, but that was a great scene.
Yeah. But I am Babylon and Amsterdam, which both were marketed as like Margot Robbie is in it, flopped. We knew this one wasn't going to flop, but I am pleasantly surprised that Barbie was genuinely fun.
This is the first movie, in my opinion at least, that Margot Robbie has been in that she didn't carry. Because I feel like everything since Wolf of Wall Street is the only other movie I think she doesn't carry that movie.
Yeah.
Because everything else around it is so good.
Mm-hmm.
But everything between then and now has just been like, she carries.
Yeah.
Like Amsterdam, she carries that movie. She's the best part of Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Even like the Suicide Squad, she's the only good.
The only thing you remember from Suicide Squad is Harley Quinn.
Yeah. In fact, it's so much so that she's the only one that's going to get to keep going.
Yep.
She's the only person in LADC that gets to keep her role.
Yep.
So she carries what she does. But this movie, I would say she didn't have to carry. Like the movie was good without her, but she's the main character and she does amazing. Mm-hmm. But like Ryan Gosling is hilarious.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about this movie is that I think you go into it knowing there is going to be a huge theme of the movie that's about feminism and female empowerment, which are good things to talk about. I was surprised that it's weird to talk on this as a man, but I was surprised that there was no part of it that made me feel like alienated in the movie.
Yeah.
The entire arc that they had in this movie was very integrated of Barbie is super important. Ken is super important as well. One does not exist without the other in a way. At least that's what I was taking from it, because that entire plot of the Kens being existential and like they had no idea of what they were pursuing in life. It was very meaningful to me.
Yeah. 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 I think that everybody can take notes away from the movie, you know? Because there's a lot of moments when they get into like feminism and stuff like that as a man, it's good to know these things and get to know like a woman's perspective of it. But there are moments I was like, they're doing a lot to cater to the boys watching this movie too, though.
Yeah.
With all of the Ken storylines. So it was cool that they still gave the Ken storylines a bit of a purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of like, hey, look, like, yeah, like you got to understand it's a man's world, but here's how you can help. And here's, like at the end of the day, it can be you and it can be me.
Yeah.
Like, it could be Barbie and it could be Ken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was surprised because I don't know why I had this assumption. I assumed that the role of Ken throughout this movie was going to be more of a side plot or comic relief. I did not realize how integrated into the main plot this was going to be.
He's the villain.
Which I should go into the synopsis
we haven't even gotten into spoilers. Right
no,
now.
it's like
spoiler free.
This movie was wild. But I will try my best to do a synopsis for this crazy film. And again, big movie of the summer. We will be spoiling the whole thing. So keep that in mind as I proceed to spoil the entire thing.
This is great. You get to go on video of you doing the synopsis. Usually it's just me enjoying watching you your brain trying to process. Yeah,
me processing and sweating bullets. Yeah, glad we do this now.
And then me just leaning back.
Yeah, you get to just chill while I stress out. Okay. All right. Where do I start?
Let me go ahead and kick my feet up.
All right. So Barbie, the whole thing, there's two worlds. There's the real world and there's Barbie Land, a different world. And in Barbie Land, there's a bunch of different Barbies, and the Barbies run everything. The women, they run everything, and the Kens are there to just enjoy Barbie, hopefully looking at them.
At the beach.
All
of the Kens have one job, and it's beach.
Mm-hmm. Every Barbie is their respective Barbie. We have the main character, Margot Robbie, is the stereotypical Barbie.
We have Surgeon Barbie.
Surgeon Barbie. There's the discontinued pregnant Barbie. Every Barbie is there.
Ooh, that's actually Mitch.
That, right.
Get your facts right.
Yeah, you're right. So Barbie Land is unique on its own. And one day, stereotypical Barbie starts to have, she starts thinking about death and develops cellulite, meaning that something in the real world is wrong. So she has to go on a quest to the real world to find the person playing with her who apparently is having a bad time.
Mm-hmm, they're connected.
Yes.
Emotionally.
Something is wrong with them mentally. Barbie begins this adventure. Ken, Ryan Gosling, sneaks into the car and tags along. And then they enter the real world where they learn that Barbie did not fix all of the women's problems in the real world, and there exists the concept of something called the patriarchy. I laugh because this is the funniest element of this movie.
Yep.
Is what they do with this idea. They arrive in the real world though. Barbie tries to track down the person playing with her, while Ken goes on a journey of self-enlightenment as he starts learning about the man's world and patriarchy. Barbie finds the person, they reject her, and then she's taken by Mattel to the CEO to be put back in a box. There's so much.
You got it.
Okay, all right.
Get the box. She doesn't want to.
She
don't put Barbie in a box.
Yeah, she gets taken by Mattel. Ken, on the other hand, who learned about the patriarchy and also stole 4 books from a school library all about men ruling the world and about horses being involved with that, decides there's a better world for me and takes all of what he learned, his innocent little brain, and goes back to Barbie Land with it. Barbie realizes she doesn't want to be boxed and then discovers that the kid that she met who was playing with her actually was the wrong person. It's the mom who started playing with her and is having emotional strife. And then they connect, and as things are getting better, she takes them back to Barbie Land, which as they arrive, Barbie Land is no longer Barbie Land. It's called Kendom. And Ken has indoctrinated everyone into the idea of the patriarchy, which means 2 things. 2 philosophies, which is that horses are incredible.
Yep.
And everyone should be serving men brewskis.
Yeah, every woman should be serving every Ken brewski beers.
These are the doctrines. It's so dumb. This is the best part of the movie.
Brewski beer me. I need a horse.
They're back in Barbie Land, and every TV is showing the same loop of horses running. Every lamp has been replaced with a little Western lamp with horses on it. Ken has taken over Barbie's dream house and turned it into Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Yeah, Mojo Dojo Casa House. It
becomes this whole thing of Barbie then has to team up with some of the people who originally helped her to unindoctrinate the brainwashed Barbies and turn the Kens against each other before the Kens can vote to change the Barbie Land Constitution so the Kens can run everything. Big battle, and things come back together, and they realize that Barbie can exist with Ken, and they are their own unique, wonderful things.
Yep. Just like in real life, women are smarter than men because we all just want to fight each other, and they actually know how to get stuff done while we're fighting.
I do think they got to something pretty truthful, which is that it is very easy to turn men against each other with the right motivation.
Yeah. Oh, the whole side plot is that, not the side plot, the plan is if we just get the men to think we're super into them and then to be interested in one other guy.
Yep.
How could you? The guys are allowed to be interested in all the women, but if the women interest in any other guy besides them, it's like, whoa, what's up, Ken?
Yep.
which is so fun. That's real life. That's actually real life. Men, we are a bunch of grown babies.
Mm-hmm.
We're a bunch of 5-year-old men.
They have an entire scene where they're enacting this plan, and it's everything. It's so dumb.
And they sing the Matchbox 20 song.
Yes, every single Ken is on the beach with their own guitar, serenading their specific Barbie, who's pretending to be super into it, and then all they have to do is just get up and go to a different Ken and be interested in them instead. It's hilarious.
So true to life. Wars have been caused by this same thing.
I think I got everything, right?
Yeah, that's
so?
pretty much it. I mean, yeah. Say,
Okay.
we'll kind of break it down as we go through, but
This
good
was
synopsis.
wild.
Yeah, right off the bat, the movie hits you with like, okay, this is very colorful, and I understand. We're in Barbie land, so when they're in their dream house, there's no walls, which makes sense because that's how the toy is.
Yeah.
And then they're drinking their milk, and she just is drinking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally hilarious. I love the way they do that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Barbie doesn't just walk out the front door and hop in her car. You're playing with her and you take her off the top.
Yep.
And you put her in her car from the roof of the playhouse. Makes total sense. It's totally such a kid thing.
Yeah.
And then we go through the day and it's the perfect day. And then at the dance party, we're all dancing. And then Barbie out of nowhere is like, you guys ever think about death?
It's so jarring. It's so jarring. It's so out of nowhere.
So random. Just, you guys ever think about death? And it's just like for like a solid 20 seconds, everybody just stares at her.
Oh, how could you? What?
What do you mean? I was just kidding,
The
guys.
death of
Like
the party.
the death of the party. Woo!
Yeah, that was. It's funny because I feel like they really did try their best to stick true to the exact structure of the toys.
Yep.
All of the Barbies. I mean, there's a ton of actual real Barbies that they were referring to throughout this movie. Current ones and discontinued ones. The Dream House, like you said, are the exact style of the actual toy where they're just fully open. I thought that was very clever to integrate their, not make anything up about what the toys were, but actually just, this is what it was, so how do we integrate it in?
Yeah, I was reading. I was trying to find out as much information about the Barbie dolls as possible, and I didn't do probably a great job of researching.
Probably not.
Because the only one that at least I could find that wasn't a real doll is the Asian Ken. Is one of the only dolls that they just made for the movie. But like all of the Barbie dolls are real Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Like every single Barbie doll is a Barbie doll that already exists. Like Barbie doll with a TV in her back, Barbie doll in a wheelchair, President Barbie dolls, Dr. Barbie doll. Like, all of those are real Barbie dolls. And the same thing with the Kens. There's different versions of Ken. They're saying like the only one that was made for the movie was just Asian Ken, which is crazy to me that if they have the other Kens, that Asian Ken's the only one they don't have.
Yeah.
But whatever. This scene, neither here nor there.
Maybe they'll make one now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, I'm sure every single one of these characters is gonna get a doll.
look,
Guaranteed they get a doll.
I don't know if it's out there already, but if they make a Ryan Gosling Ken, maybe that goes right there.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe it
We gotta
goes-
get the Ken.
Maybe I would put it in this.
Even a Margot Robbie Ken. I mean, that's regular Barbie, but
that is Barbie.
but if it's Margot Robbie Barbie, I'm in.
Yeah.
We'll put her here. That would be awesome. We should get a Ryan Gosling Ken.
Yeah, here's the thing. For me, Ken was just my favorite part of this movie. The whole
A guy liking Ken? The heck?
ridiculous.
I know.
I feel like they did a good job of they created the way that this movie could be for everyone. Cuz my interpretation of the movie going into it was that it's Barbie. Like, yes, there were Ken dolls, but majority of people who played with Barbie or care were women. Like, that's the main demographic it goes for.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it was invented for.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it might be trying to generalize a little bit more, but obviously
Yeah.
it's still primarily for women.
Yeah. So, like, I didn't think that this movie was necessarily going to appeal to guys that much. I didn't think it was going to appeal to me. I didn't know how much I was going to enjoy this movie, honestly.
Yeah, it didn't need to. That was the thing. That was
yeah.
the thing we went into was like we were like, it doesn't need to appeal to us.
Yeah.
Because it's like if it appeals only to women, that's 100% fine. Because it's
If
Barbie.
that's the goal of the movie.
I can't be mad about that.
Yeah. If that's the goal of the movie, then it succeeds, then that was the right thing to do. Does that make it a bad movie? No. You knew your demographic and then you stuck to it. I was surprised that I enjoyed this movie so much.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It was so funny. And I do think that this movie, it really leaned into the, like, it leaned into almost making fun of the ideas of feminism and patriarchy a bit. Mainly patriarchy, though. And, like, really diving into how comedic can we make this?
Oh, my gosh. It's just horses. The whole patriarchy is all horses.
Because the idea to me of a fully innocent mind learning about the concept of patriarchy and latching onto horses and beer immediately is the funniest thing to me. This is what we like. Patriarchy. Males run the world. So it's the horses are extensions of men, obviously. And just...
Which honestly, yeah, that's what they are. Horses are men extenders.
So stupid.
And I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I really do think that as a man, there's only two things in this world I care about, and that's horses and brewski beers.
Of course.
Of course. There's nothing else more important than brewski beers. And
I'll tell you what.
Except for my guitar.
I have never felt more like a man than when I have ridden on the back of a horse.
Yeah.
When I've sat upon the back of that tall stallion, let me tell you, all right, let me just, I start talking about it and the voice immediately changed, buddy. I got on the back of that horse, I put on the cowboy hat, and
Did you
I
have
felt,
a beer?
I had a beer for a moment. And it was, that was the height of manhood for me. That was the height of my life as a man. And I'm trying constantly to get back there, bud.
Yeah.
I'm trying constantly to get back to that moment.
What
that
about my horse?
When I felt on top of the world, I was 10 feet tall on the back of that big tall stallion.
One of my favorite lines that really went under the radar was they have the Bronco outside of the Barbie or Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa house.
Uh-huh.
And they're talking about the car, and Ken goes, "Yeah, you know how many horses they have in that thing?"
Yeah, you're right.
He's like, "You know how many horses are in there?
There's so many horses.
There's so
inside
many
the
horses in there."
Even the battle at the end, the whole war with the Kens all fighting each other. On one side of them, they all had paddle boats that were horse designs, and then the other side they had like it was like Monty Python-esque of the.
Yeah.
And they had their little horse things with them.
Oh my
gosh, the fight at the end too was so ridiculous.
Yeah, I think as guys, we're probably gonna enjoy all the Ken stuff a lot more, but all the Barbie moments were hilarious too.
The Barbie moments were actually funny. Yeah,
I just think that like the Ken stuff, man, like when they're having their Ken fight, and the way that they fight other Kens is by just ripping open their shirts.
Yeah,
and it's just masculinity beats the other one.
Yep,
so funny.
Who is more masculine?
Yeah,
I win.
When Ken and Simu and Ryan Gosling go at it, and they're just
and then it forms into magical energy, which turns into a dance off. That was the peak of comedy right there. That was so
awesome.
funny.
Oh my goodness, dude! I lost it. I was laughing so hard in the theater. Per usual, I was probably one of the loudest people laughing in that theater.
We were laughing more consistently though than I thought we were going.
Oh, dude. I really did think. I think with Barbie, I had the expectations set a little bit lower because I thought it's just going to be a hype up movie. Yeah. And everything we've seen, and it wasn't even that it was Barbie. It's just every time we've seen a movie with a big cast, it always disappoints.
Yeah, more often than not, it disappoints.
So I think that's what really made me nervous about it. I was like, maybe the Barbie stuff will be fine, but we've seen big casts so many times and it not work. But this one was so good. Like everybody had such a funny line. Like Simu was hilarious. Yeah. Ryan Gosling was hilarious. Margot Robbie kills it every time. Michael Cera was hilarious. Will Ferrell's in it, and I told you beforehand. I said that this movie will not be lower than a 50 no matter what because Will Ferrell's in it.
The side arc of all the executives showing up in Barbie Land and them. There's one scene of them trying. All of the executives from Mattel are trying to chase after Barbie and Ken, and think they brought humans back to Barbie Land, so the executives have to go fix it. But in order to begin the journey back, they all have to start roller skating.
Yep.
There's just a scene of 15 people, 15 men in big business suits, all roller skating through LA.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so funny. And then even like Will Ferrell, he has a moment at the end where he's just like, ever since I was young, I've just wanted to make these toys for the little girls of the world to have fun. And I don't mean that in a creepy way.
In the least creepy way possible. I've just wanted to connect to the dreams of these little girls in the least creepy way possible.
You know how many times I just want to take a business meeting and go, we should all just tickle each other. Come here, tickle me. Don't hug me.
No
Get off
hugging,
me.
no hugging. Yeah, I mean,
amazing.
I think the actors really knocked this out of the park.
Yeah, the acting is hilarious. I mean, every actor, nobody takes their role more serious than it needs to be. You know,
Yeah.
we've seen this so many times in movies where this wasn't meant to be taken too crazy. And the characters that did need to have serious moments, they were really good in their moments.
Yeah.
Like when Margot Robbie is having her like existential crisis and realizing like what is her purpose in just life in general. She was so good at being convincing of that. Like she just, I don't know. Margot Robbie is just such a great actress, and she will never get deemed on this show. She'll never get knocked points.
Yeah, no. I mean, every movie we've seen with her, I think we have praised her. She is very clearly a phenomenal actress. I love watching her.
Is this what, third or fourth movie we've seen her do?
Technically fourth, but one of them was Wolf of Wall Street. So
I think she might hold the record for most appearances on the show.
I think so. I mean, she's in a ton of stuff now.
Which, rightfully so. She's a great actress, and I think actually this is probably the first role that she did that's outside of her normal like MO. Because usually she's like the New York girl, you know, with the accent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In almost all of her stuff. I mean, there may be some things here and there, but like typically that's usually her.
And I
role.
think everything we've seen her in has been dramas too, not a comedy.
So this was great to see her do. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
she knocked it out.
Yeah, so she did awesome, man. We knew she was going to be good though.
Yeah.
Again, we went into this knowing that she will be carrying if this movie sucks.
Yeah.
She will still carry her role.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really excited for Ryan Gosling to be in this as well because I thought that was such a weird pick.
Yeah.
But do you know how he got that role?
The abs.
Yeah, no, he
tore off his shirt. He was in a room with a bunch of other muscular men. He tore off his shirt and he had the biggest masculine energy. So he won.
Yeah, it's because he understood the
auditions work.
patriarchy better than anybody else. He pulled up to Greta Gerwig's house and said, "Horse and beer."
She's like, yeah, that's it. That's exactly what we're trying to put out there. Yeah.
No, when they were going through people to like consider for Ken, he apparently he actually posted a picture of it, but he said that he went out. He was playing with his daughter, and he saw out in the backyard when they were playing Barbies one day. He saw in the backyard her Ken doll was just in the mud, face down, next to a rotten lemon.
I remember
like a
hearing
squished
this,
lemon, and that was when he realized Ken's story needs to be told. I will be your Ken. Like what a heroic like I went out to my backyard and I saw the Ken doll is just face down on the ground, and it's so sad because nobody plays with him.
Yeah.
Ken's story needs to be told.
Man, that's awesome.
So, yeah, that's the reason why he wanted to be Ken. So he went to Greta Gerwig with it and was like, "I'll be your Ken, please."
Ryan Gosling definitely is one of my favorite actors. I think.
He's great. He's got so many different roles. I mean, I thought that was a wild choice to have him be Ken, but
yeah.
It's safe to say he easily killed that.
Well, I really started learning about him more a couple years ago when I got to there was an acting class that I was in where they paired me up with a young lady and we did a scene from Blue Valentine, which is one of the first like romantic movies he did.
Yeah.
And this is I went and watched some of the movie and learned about him, and I was like, the range on this character throughout this movie was insane. And then I realized I'd seen him in something else. I had just watched Crazy Stupid Love right before doing the scene.
Nice, yeah.
And the more I have seen of him, the more impressed I am. Because I've seen both of those movies now. I've seen him in the Blade Runner movie.
Yep.
The newest one that came out.
Blade Runner.
Which I loved. Now I've seen him in this. I don't know what it is. I really enjoy him.
He's awesome. I mean, he even did La La Land and that.
Yes.
Again, another wild choice.
I have that soundtrack on my
lead.
Spotify playlist.
Yeah, he's a great actor. So they really did hit it out the park, selecting him and Margot Robbie to be the main Barbie and the main Ken.
Yeah.
But even like side Barbie and like even like the other ones were awesome too. Like Simu was a great choice for the other Ken. For like a rival Ken. Yeah, that was hilarious. That was such a good bit. What's her name? The president Barbie. Issa Rae. Yeah. She was hilarious. She has the best line in the whole movie. When she comes walking down the stairs and she says, "What's up, mother?" Yeah. The Barbies have won. She shows up and just drops the F-bomb. Yeah. They censor it out, but it's still, I think it's funnier when you censor out a cuss word because it's the imagination, right? Yeah. Like when you hear any cuss word censored, you're like, ooh. They censored it. They said it. But like if she had said it, I'd have been like, oh, come on. Come on, man. I know the movie's PG-13. It's PG-13, but why? Why'd you do this? But when they censored, I was like, they did it. I was actually surprised that because the movie was it is PG-13. Is it really? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Because I did think about that, and I was like, is this movie PG? Because it's I mean, again, like it's not bad for if you want to teach your kids that young and everything. That's parents' decision. I just thought. That seems like a lot to learn before 13. Yeah, I mean, like I would rather my kid fully be able to comprehend it. Like I don't have a problem with a 7-year-old seeing it. I just feel like they're not going to understand. Like even like the girl next to you, there's like a little girl sitting there, and she just was like walking around half the time. Yeah, this girl. Oh my gosh, I felt bad for the family that was there. This girl did not. She was into it first 30 minutes, and then she did not want to be there anymore. Yeah, once I got into like the points, she was not so into it, but I don't think that's bad. I think she just probably wasn't. She probably was just like, I just want to see the Barbie stuff. Well, I think it's the same thing as like what we dealt with Elemental, right? Where it's a kids movie, but depending on the content of it, are you going to keep the attention of the kids for that long? Yeah, and it's a case by case scenario, right? Depends on if your kid actually like cares enough to actually watch it or not. But that example next to us of that family, the whole time I'm like, yeah, you're losing this kid. Yeah, kid does not care right now. PG-13 was a great rating to give it. I did think that. I didn't take the time to look and see, but I was thinking like, well, that had to be PG-13 for sure. Yeah, because there are also some cruder jokes. I mean, they're not like offensive, but well, definitely I did think of it. I was like, there's no way that this got a PG rating by saying, penis. Like, first 5 minutes of the movie, they're making jokes about beaching each other off. Yeah. That joke too. I'm gonna beat you off. I'm gonna beat you off. Oh man, I'm gonna beat you off. Crazy. So, like that joke alone, I was like, okay, this is PG-13. That was first few minutes of the movie, like out of the gate. I was hilarious. Like, wow, I love it, but holy cow. Oh, yeah. That makes so much more sense knowing that now. I mean, because again, there's a lot of great points made in there, but I was like, this is a lot to learn. Yeah. Like, me as an adult, I'm learning from this. Like me as like a man in his later 20s, I'm like, this is good stuff to know. Like, this is a good lesson to learn. Mm-hmm. If I was 6, I don't think I would have understood this movie. Yeah. Personally, I'm down to completely change the walls in this room to have like horse wallpaper, or we could do a screen right here and have the looping horse video. Oh, that'd be amazing! I want the Kendam's Ken's Casa or no Mojo Dojo Casa house. Yeah, I want that right here. That would be, bro. What if we did just some screen right here, and just kept having every week we did a new horse thing on it. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. Well, with like that's the way to retain viewership, right? Is you got to keep their attention go back and forth so often. So you see TikTok videos with like Subway surfers underneath, and the real content is up top. Up top. But 75% of the video is Subway surfers or Family Guy or soap cutting. Hey, that's true. We could do that, but now it's just horse videos and different loops. I think if we did that, at least our male viewership skyrockets immediately because they're right. That is the peak of patriarchy. Yeah. I mean, they said beers as well, but
to me personally, when I think of what the patriarchy means to me, is when I'm thinking about being up on the big tall stallion.
I could be a man on a horse.
There's nothing quite like it, man. Being able to ride out into the desert towards the sun, towards that horizon on the back of my beautiful Bronco.
That's one of the other best parts of this movie is when Ken goes to the real world realizing that he's like, dude, men run the world. And then he goes to the hospital. He's like, I just want to perform surgery. I'm a man. Don't worry. Is that not enough? Let me talk to a doctor. I am a doctor. Let me get another one. Doctor?
Yep. I would like one of the big jobs here. Yeah. Okay, well, you need an MBA or references or something. Being a man is not enough. And the guy who's just a normal dude is like, well, don't be so obvious about it.
Well, duh, yeah, but relax.
Well, you do need like something to back it up.
They make really good jokes about that because it's like that. I mean, that is some businesses for sure. But it was funny. It's just so funny seeing them just shed light on all that.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
I do think one of the most bizarre points of this movie is just the entire arc with the executives, though.
Oh,
where the more I think about the chase scene inside of the Mattel building, it's so. Because they're in the real world, but for some reason, these are the dumbest people to ever exist, where they have one office space where all of these executives, they're trying to chase and catch Barbie, and they are just running frantically in circles through the whole thing.
Yep.
That was such a bizarre scene. It was hilarious, but it was so just, I don't know how to put it. It was just so wild.
Yeah, it was so funny. It was very comical, but like colorfully comical. Like it was just so well executed.
Yeah.
To make those shots. It felt like I was watching a movie made in like the mid 2000s at times, but in a really good way.
Yeah.
You know, like you mentioned Holy Grail. Like, yeah, that's exactly the vibe I was getting from like the fight. Like at the end, like it's just like comical in that sense of like, oh, these are just like throwback comedy style of things, like slapstick humor.
Honestly, the more I think about it, that might be one of the reasons I like the movies so much, was because I know that the type of humor I have is very dumb. Like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, that is the best comedy ever made, in my opinion. And that is the kind of comedy that I felt like was being used in this movie.
Yeah. Which
might be why I liked it so much. It was just so dumb. Like, how on earth did we... I'm never going to get over the patriarchy thing from this movie of it's beer and horses.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
And that might have been them, like, really trying to be like, it's dumb. And it's like, yes. But such a funny way of doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That made me just... I had a great time watching this movie. Much better than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, we had a ton of fun, and the runtime was what, like 2 hours, and
just under 2 hours, yeah.
But it was a good time. Like I can't think of any moments where I was like, okay, like we could have done without 40 minutes of this. Like no, like everything. It wasn't necessarily that everything was important. It was more so that it was just funny enough to keep me moving.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it was just hilarious enough to keep me moving. There are more serious moments that I don't think were intended for maybe two dudes at the theater, but I know will resonate very well with other groups of people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like even towards the end, there's a whole moment where, you know, they start going through, they're trying to, Ruth, the inventor of Barbie, is showing Barbie what the meaning of life is. And she's just showing her like moments of just growing up as a woman and just living and then growing up and then getting older and getting into a relationship, getting married.
It's very existential.
Kids. It is.
Very suddenly.
I personally was like, I don't necessarily relate to this, but part of me did get kind of emotional thinking about like raising my son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thinking for Carissa, like thinking for my wife, like what a blessing it is to be a mom. Because like I only get to see it from the dad perspective. I just get to reap all the benefits, right? Of just all the fun moments. But Carissa like got to just raise she gave birth to the baby, and like their connection will always be stronger than me and him. You know what I mean?
And I thought it was interesting because I wasn't expecting this take to be brought up in the movie, but it talked briefly at the end about what a gift it is to be a mother.
Yeah.
What a gift it is to be able to be the one to actually bring someone into the world and raise them. Like, I was not expecting that. That's not brought up that much in movies now.
Yeah.
And I certainly wasn't expecting it from this one, but I love that. And I also was surprisingly emotional towards the end. I don't think this will be the case for most guys who watch it, but personally, I started having the idea of, we talked briefly about this, that I started having the thought of like, I can't wait to have a daughter someday.
Yes, same. No, I want a daughter so bad. Kristen knows I've always wanted a daughter.
Yeah.
So. But like I again, I want her to have those moments too. And I think like watching that, I was just like, man, like it's already beautiful enough to watch her play with her son. Like I can't imagine the relationship she would have with her, our little girl.
Yeah.
Or same for me with that little girl too. So it was so cool. But yeah, watching that stuff grow up, like about life and just going through it, I was like, man, this movie, weirdly enough, I came home thinking like, holy cow, I'm a parent.
Yeah. What a
Like,
gift.
Yeah, seriously. I really have not thought about that. I mean, he's only 6 months, so it's still fairly new. And there have been moments where I've kind of touched on it, but yesterday it really hit me of like, wow, I really have a child. Like I will always be a parent from here on out. Like, no matter what. And like just thinking about that was like making me so emotional. And I was like, dang you, Barbie.
Isn't it shocking that the Barbie movie is what started pulling that from us though?
Yeah. There's just something so pure about it. I mean, it's probably because Barbies are from our generation.
Yeah.
And not we played with Barbies growing up. I mean, I didn't play with Barbies.
I
never played with Barbies.
Look, I'll let you
relax.
I play with them very, very briefly, and I went to the hospital because of it.
Really?
I did.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a story.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go into it.
Yeah. Screw what I was saying.
My sister had a Barbie, and I was an infant. I was like 1, and my sister liked to play with me a lot when we were younger, and I was in the room with her. Apparently, she was playing with her Barbie, and something happened where I ended up swallowing the Barbie shoe, a little plastic Barbie shoe, and I'm pretty sure I went to the hospital to make sure I was okay, and it scared my sister enough. She never played with Barbie again. Wow,
you ruined Barbie for her. Oh no!
Because my sister, I love her so much. She was so as I've looked back and gotten to watch like family home videos and stuff, she cared so much about taking care of her little brother who just showed up. It was mortifying to her to think that she hurt me.
Wow, that's so sweet.
It was.
You ruined Barbie for her. But
we actually just talked about this like 2 months ago. It was hilarious.
Oh, that's so funny. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I swallowed a shoe.
Yep.
The things kids swallow, man. It's interesting.
Yeah.
My nephews, when he was like 2, he got sick, and like his parents trying to figure out like, why is he getting so sick, and taking him to the doctor, and like, oh, he's fine, it's just normal. And then like 2 weeks later, they were like, he's still sick. Like, what is going on with our kid? Stop saying that he's just a normal flu. Like, it's not. He's been sick for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. Mm-hmm. And so they finally did x-rays. He swallowed like pennies and like nickels. And they're like, well, no, he's sick. He's eating pennies. And my sister-in-law was like, why?
Where are the pennies coming from?
Yeah, what? It's just kids, man. They just eat the craziest things. Like, I probably ate dumb stuff as a kid all the time. Yeah. As a boy, that's just little boys. We just do dumb things.
Yeah. I love how we just pivoted from like what a gift it is to be able to be a parent and bring kids into the world, and then into kids are so dumb.
So dumb. Yeah.
Kids are so dumb.
But so smart at the same time. But man, yeah. I know I wonder what the first thing Denny will eat that he's not supposed to eat. Like, I really have thought about that. Because it's, you could do so much as a parent to prevent these things. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be there 24/7 to watch everything they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, that doesn't make you a bad parent. That's literally just the human nature of things. We will always be curious to try something that we don't know if we should or shouldn't do. So I'm just interested to see the first thing Denny does that I'm like, it's the
curiosity, man. You just got to try it. You see a penny and you when you're a kid, it's like that could fit in my mouth
Easily. I could easily eat that.
Oh, this tastes horrible.
Yeah,
but it could go down my throat.
I swallowed gum all the time only because people said don't swallow gum, you'll poop it out. And I thought,
that was your rebellious.
yeah, and I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool if I could blow a bubble while pooping this gum out. And so I would just swallow gum. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Like,
I did not do that.
I'm just saying, like, as a kid, you think everything's crazy. Like, I used to believe, my parents told me that they picked me up from a zoo and that I was a spider monkey and they shaved me and cut my tail off. And I believed it for years. I believed that I was a monkey from the zoo.
My parents kept trying to tell me that because chicken nuggets from McDonald's were my favorite thing on earth and I would have died for them. But I ate them so much that my parents started trying to convince me that if you keep eating them, you'll turn into a chicken nugget.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that would be dope. What are you talking about?
Awesome.
Chicken nuggets are the greatest thing on earth. What?
Please.
Do it.
Please, Lord. Take me as I am as a chicken nugget. As long as I get the barbecue sauce next to me, I would be the best chicken nugget of all
Nah,
time.
dude, it was sweet and sour for me. 100%.
Oh, you're so crazy.
100%.
No,
Even though
you're
I
so
look at it now and it looks like gravy and
Oh,
it's disgusting.
No, you're crazy. I never liked it. It looks like
Oh,
my nose
scared
is
you.
like-
Scared you there.
Yeah, no, the sweet and sour looks like caramel sauce. I never liked it.
I mean, I can't
Which is
eat it
crazy.
now.
I love sweet and sour normally, but the McDonald's one I couldn't do.
Bro, the last time I had McDonald's was legit like 4 years ago. And before that, it was like 2 years prior to that. And so the last time I had it, I nearly threw up. It was, excuse me, it was actually the worst thing I've ever eaten.
Well, that's just the cycle of McDonald's, though. That's supposed to happen.
Yeah, because it's bad.
It's the only way your body can process it is by throwing it up. If you're not throwing it up, then you're doing McDonald's wrong.
Yeah, if you're at the point where you're able to consume it, your body's not doing great.
It's broken.
More power to you, but your body's not doing great.
Yeah, as kids though, you think anything. I mean, yeah, my parents would tell me that for watermelon. If I kept eating the watermelon seeds.
Watermelon's not that bad.
No, they always told me though if I kept eating the watermelon seeds that I would end up growing a watermelon in me. And
Well,
I
that's
always
fact.
and I always thought, oh, I don't want a watermelon in me. That doesn't sound fun.
And then,
Why would I want that?
and then we start getting bigger here.
Yeah, and you get all
The
bloated. and you're
watermelon's
like, "Well, it
growing,
started.
Mom."
That's exactly what this is. It's a watermelon.
It's the watermelon.
Yeah.
Bro, I can't get rid of the watermelon. Why can't I get rid of it?
Yeah,
Get out.
children's imagination.
Well, it's facts.
And that's why Barbie was so popular when we were children. The
Yeah.
imagination.
The imagination. Yeah, sorry. I know there was something you were gonna say, and I totally took us on a tangent.
No, I don't remember what it was anymore.
We didn't need it.
We move on.
We move on. We move on. Onward, ever, upward, forward.
Barbie, man. This movie was just surprisingly so much better than I thought it was gonna be. And the big talk, I've talked about this, but the big talk is Barbenheimer. Was also, these movies came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about, what's the order to see them in? Like Oppenheimer, and then Barbie. I saw a video online that was great where it talked about how, they're like, it's really hard to do these movies because you start off and the movie starts talking about death and finding your purpose in this world and the human psyche and existential crisis. And then you go see Oppenheimer. Yep. And I laughed because I was like, that really was Barbie.
Yeah.
The Barbie had so much in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say to the folks out there who are going to do the Barbenheimer experience, if you're thinking about which one to do first, both of them result with the same thing. For some reason, both of these movies have the same ending point of, well, life is so hard.
Yeah,
life is so
rough.
scary.
Yeah.
Like both had a sense of existential dread to them.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting that.
No, not at all. I mean, Barbie definitely had a lot heavier topics than I thought it would.
Yeah.
And it's funny because even after watching them both, this might be a very, very bold statement. I thought I was so excited for Oppenheimer, and I was just not disappointed, but it just was a bit longer than I wish it would have been.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in the sense of like, I was this excited for Oppenheimer, but I was a little bit disappointed. As to where with Barbie, I set the bar low because I thought I'd be disappointed, and I was very happy with what I watched.
Yeah, I think we both fell into this.
Yeah, so it's interesting to think that like our views were completely swapped.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. I think it's going to be a while until you can talk about one movie without the other.
Yeah.
But at least for the foreseeable future, it's going to be that way. You're going to always think of those two movies coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
It's going to take our children to be older for us to not think about that.
But what a fun experience to have with movies. I mean, we talked about this a little bit in the last episode of what a fun experience of being able to have these two wonderful movies come out at the same time, that you can have this experience to tie one to the other.
Yeah, and totally different stories. I mean, Oppenheimer is about the man who created the atomic bomb that forever changed the world and how we view war from here on out until the end of time, because bombs will always exist. Versus Barbie is just a doll that was invented for little girls to play with. like now here we are, Yeah. What crazy dynamics we have. It was wild. It was a wild experience. I'm happy that they came out at the same time, because I do think that created more hype. But the most fun thing of all was seeing so many actors in this movie.
Yeah.
There was so many random appearances. I mean, Michael Cera was on point as Alan.
Michael Cera was so funny.
So funny, dude. He was so random. What's another good one that was in there? John Cena was one of the mermaids. With, Dua Lipa. She was also the other mermaid. That was really funny to see. I loved the constant bit of everybody's Barbie and everybody's Ken.
Yep.
But they really hit it out the park at the beginning of the movie when they're on the beach and it's just, hi Ken, hey Barbie, hey Barbie, hey Ken, hey Ken, hey Barbie, 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 hey Barbie, hey Ken, Barbie. Yep. It's so funny. Such a good bit.
Hi Alan.
Yeah, hey Alan. That's just Alan. He's just one of one.
Yep.
He's just Alan. There's no other Allens.
Kind of weird.
Yeah. Same with Mitch. Mitch is also just one of one.
Yep.
Which apparently it's canon that Mitch and Alan are actually married in Barbie lore. They used to sell those as like a set thing of like them at their wedding day when she was pregnant.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good for them, man.
I loved seeing all the different Barbies too. It almost gave me the vibe of Toy Story. When they go to meet Weird Barbie, like the Barbie doll that's just been beat up and cut hair, colored face. It only does the splits now because the legs don't work, so it's always doing the splits. It gave me the vibe of like Toy Story when they go to like Sid's house and he has all the weird created toys and everything. Man, that was good. Ugh. And seeing all the old Barbies, like where she's like, I have a TV in my back. Who wants this? Who wants that?
No one wants this.
Or Sugar Daddy Ken. It's no. Sugar's my dog's name, and I'm its daddy.
I'm a daddy.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
And then there's Magician Ken. You guys want to see some magic?
The fact they were all real, they were real dolls, is so good, man.
Oh yes, there's so many good bits. Another great moment in the movie too is when Margot Robbie is absolutely killing it in acting, right? And she's just on the floor and she's like, I feel so ugly. And then the narrator cuts in, note to the filmmaker, Margot Robbie is not the best person to use for this role to portray that.
Do not cast Margot Robbie if you're trying to convey this thing. And she's just bawling and she's like, I'm not pretty, and she's still gorgeous. That was such a good moment.
Yeah, it's like even when they tried to make Barbie ugly, it was like, bro, she still looks like a Barbie doll. No, yeah. She looks still like an amazing Barbie doll. What do you mean?
She's perfect. She's perfect.
And then the feet thing too, that was funny. Where like I never once thought about that, but every Barbie is in like high heel position with their feet, and so when her feet, she's like, my feet are flat. Nah, no way. Let me see. Oh my gosh.
And then there's a moment after where as she was climbing up to Kate McKinnon's house, she was still in heels, but still struggling with the flat foot situation. And I don't know if you heard this quip from her where she was like, if my feet were flat all the time, I would never wear heels.
Yeah.
It's like, from what I understand, that is the accurate portrayal.
Yeah.
All right, well, with that, should we get the banana meter?
Banana meter's coming in already? Wow. This episode went quick. I loved this movie.
This is good. How do we because the minions are
They're camera shy. They're not
they're
gonna.
tangible things.
Yeah,
clearly.
no, we they are very. Ooh, wow! I didn't
How do
think
we
about
do?
that.
How does this part work? Now? How does this part work? But no. Oh, I heard them somewhere.
Oh, are they over there now?
I think
Wow.
they're okay. Yeah, so they're peeking out right now.
Are they back here? Hold on, let me look. Hold on, let me look. Are they underneath the table? Ooh, banana!
Okay, all right. They've been crawling.
Oh,
Okay.
there they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So some of them are at the door right now,
look at
peeking
they are
in. Some are they're crawling around. So yeah, you can't see
You
them,
can't
but
see
this,
the-
the studio is
look.
nearly overrun now.
They're everywhere behind the camera right now. They are going. Woo, banana!
Calm
Whoa,
down.
that's
Calm
really
down.
Interesting.
All right, since they're all camera shy, they're gonna leave the banana meter over there, and they'll turn it for us. Okay, guys.
Think about this.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a bit, obviously. 'Cause,
No, it's
the
not a bit.
bananas,
It's not-
They're actually back there.
Yeah, they're back there. Don't worry. We didn't think about this part of the whole. Welcome to video straight to date night. You or me first.
Yeah, you can start it out.
All right. Like I said, this movie really did surpass my expectations. I had way more fun with it than I thought I would, which is such a fun. Wow, look at that party.
In a Barbie world. On the movie, this music was banging too.
Yeah,
We didn't even mention it. The soundtrack. I'm gonna be honest with you, David. I listened to it last night. I got home and I turned it on because it was banging.
I mean, the Ken song is incredible.
Ken song, amazing. When Ryan Gosling sings that song,
Incredible.
Push You or whatever, or Own You, I forget what it's called, but amazing. Or Tame Impala has a song, amazing. Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice got a song, amazing. Needed that. World needed that. Barbie is Nicki Minaj.
This is good. This is good what you're doing.
Yeah, it was good. Lizzo doing the main track, wasn't excited, killed it, amazing.
Yeah.
Dua Lipa has a song, amazing. They're all the songs are bomb. Sorry, please.
No, it's okay.
Oh, that's another great part when Will Ferrell's in the board meeting and they're just like, they realize something. They're just like, yeah. They'll start patting each other. It's just little moments throughout the whole movie that were so good.
Just little details like that really added up, I think, for the fun of this movie. The movie was so over the top ridiculous that in almost every way that I think it worked. It worked so well for the idea. It's hard to rate because like how good was this movie?
How good indeed.
How good was this movie? Bro, I don't know how to rate this movie. Cuz what's crazy about it that's making it like very very good to me is the fact that there was I'm very shocked that you and I both had the reaction of like we both had like of very serious thoughts afterwards of like for you what it means to be a parent, me of like I can't wait to be a parent.
Yeah.
Just those ideas coming up, and we've talked about it, that movies like that can impact you are that's special. You're never gonna forget those kinds of movies.
Yeah.
Right. I just wasn't expecting that. It came so out of left field for me, and I feel like I'm struggling so hard.
You can just own it, David, and tap into your inner emotions.
I am thinking this movie is a 94.
Yeah, baby.
I think it's a 94, and it got 4 extra points because they completely changed the abbreviations for the word pink after she recognized that she was thinking about death in the first bit of the movie. So for each one of those, it got an extra point. There were just so many little things about this movie that were so funny in like just the best way. And I think there's going to be so much controversy around like some of the topics of the film that were inevitable with
by
a
the
movie
time
like
this
this.
comes out, it will already have blown up.
Yeah, it's going to be, everyone's going to be fighting over it or something like that, whatever. But I actually really liked that it leaned super hard into the ideas of feminism and patriarchy to comedically tackle both and make fun of both. That, like, with a theme at the end of, like, everyone is unique and one does not exist without the other.
Yeah.
that was a very powerful message to me that I was not expecting from the movie.
Yeah.
So I had a great time. I had so much fun with this movie. And if a friend of mine is like, I haven't seen it, I want to go see it, I would go see it again.
I have actually already been thinking about going to go see it again. I want to take Krista to go see it. I want to take our friend Brandon to go see it.
Brandon.
I want to take people to see this movie because it's so fun.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think Barbie is so much better than I thought it was going to be. I had a way better time than I thought I was going to have. I mean, the cast is killer. And again, cast is killer, but like they actually do great.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of them doesn't take their role as like, this is my breakout role. They all are just like, we're just in a Barbie movie. We're having fun.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say bad things about the movie itself because it's not meant to be like, you know, anything crazy. But there are really serious undertones in there and mixed in. I think it will be controversial in a lot of ways, but I think at the end of the day, most of that's going to come from grown men complaining about Barbie, and that's just as silly to me because it's Barbie. It wasn't made for us, and we should be happy that it was funny enough for us.
Yeah,
it wasn't. I mean, Ryan Gosling was awesome for me. I love.
I mean, it's really hard for me to dog on the movie with Ryan Gosling in it. I'm gonna say it. I'm just biased there.
Yeah, same. Oh, and Will Ferrell too. I told you beforehand. I really did say to David,
awesome.
I said, no matter how bad this movie is, it will never get lower than a 50 from me because of Will Ferrell. Yeah, he's gonna be amazing, and he could just say one word, and I'd be like, bravissimo, more
perfect.
So, all that being said, man, the soundtrack is awesome. I do love too that I don't think. I mean, there's obviously special effects, but it didn't feel like sometimes like they had special effects. Like it really felt like all those sets were real when they were rolling through and like traveling to the real world. Yeah, I liked that it wasn't too cartoonish.
Yeah, it wasn't over the top.
No, it was actually just it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. It was just like right there in the middle of like comical. Yeah, almost. You know, if that makes sense. Like that sounds so weird, but like they could make those sets in real life to get people to take pictures on, and it would be like, oh, this is a set from Barbie. How cool. You know what I mean? Like, because it's easily doable. All that stuff is easily doable. If they made a Barbie, I mean, they're working on an adventure theme park here in Arizona. Yeah. And they're going to build Barbie's Dream House as one of the rides. Easily doable to do exactly what they did from the movie.
I really hope they also have Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Oh, that'd be
too.
Amazing.
That's
be amazing.
That would be big.
That being said, I love your number. I'm going to one-up it with a 95.
How dare you? How dare you do
I was
this to
feeling
me?
the 95.
How dare you?
Yeah, I like it.
What is this? What is this?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing about it is obviously like, I think the only thing that is hard is there are some big speeches in there that are harder for me to connect with, but are great for me to hear. Yeah. But like, man, it was such a good movie. It was so fun. I had such a blast. It's hard to say anything bad. The teenager started off really annoying. She came back around.
We had a moment of like, man, all right, this movie might tank because we got another annoying teenager in the movie. But then her mom came in and saved the day, and things got better.
And she came back around, actually. It really wasn't that bad. And
they got better. I think that's mainly because she had less lines.
I did love that they made the mom the vocal point of that relationship rather than the daughter. Yeah. Because it makes so much more sense for the mom to be the one playing with Barbies, because it's like that really is our life right now. Like, like our current moms grew up playing with Barbies and just want that one thing to relate with. Like we were talking about it afterwards. This is like the perfect movie for that mom and their teenage daughter to go watch and reconnect in some way. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think that's what it was meant for. And that's cool. That's awesome to see that there is something like this to connect over. I mean, you could watch this movie with your sister and you guys would both be like, oh, remember the Barbie thing? You know, like you got something to relate on. Yeah. So yeah, no, this is a great movie, and there's so much more in it that we didn't even talk about, but we could talk about it all day. I want to see it again.
It's good movie.
I'm already want to see it again. I'm planning on it. I even wore my pink shirt, and I'll wear it again.
If I had a pink shirt, I would have worn it.
That was the other cool thing about this movie is everybody wore pink. Like, you were probably one of 5 people that didn't wear pink in that whole theater.
I'm sorry. I don't have a pink shirt. I don't have a pink shirt.
It's not calling you out.
I'm sorry, man. I don't have that. I wear primarily dark colors, except for today where I wore a white and gray polo. But I'm sorry. I don't wear these colors.
It's okay. It's okay. It was just so.
Sue me.
It
I
was
like
so
to be
fun.
I like to be on the back of the stallion, on the back of
On
my
the
horse,
horse.
with my big old brewski going out on the horizon. That's the life that I live, brother. Okay.
It was just fun. It was so fun to see like people dressing up and everybody was into it, man. I was walking by other dudes wearing pink and I called them Ken.
Yep.
And one of them really he felt it. He was like, yeah, I just like, David, check this out. All right, Ken. See you, Ken. And they were like, bye, Ken.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the moment of hesitation from this person of like, what just happened? Oh,
And then it clicked.
Sure.
It clicked very well.
Yeah.
Like he was just like.
So to
Very
that
good
guy,
start.
thank you for giving
Yeah.
Ricky that.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Great movie.
great movie.
Wow. Officially, Barbie beat Oppenheimer in our score. How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel weird, but honestly, I do think I think
deserved
it's deserved.
It hit its mark. It hit its. I mean, it hit its demographic for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we even said this, I think, before we watched the movie, that this movie is going to serve its purpose.
Yep.
It's going to set out the motive for who it's meant for, and it's going to hit it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
As to where Oppenheimer is going to hit out everybody, and everybody's going to be interested, but I don't think it's going to resonate with everybody that watches it.
Yeah.
Like, I know people who want to see it, and I know they're not going to like it because they're going to be bored halfway through until they see the bomb, and then they're like, whoa! And then they're going to be like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
I thought this was over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, kind of a shocking turnaround for this summer. Kind of wild, but
Barbie, man.
I think it's right. I think it's accurate.
Yeah, I came home immediately telling Krista we got to go see this movie ASAP. I was trying to get her to go see it tomorrow. I want to go see it again.
Well, with that, thank you so much for listening to Straight Dude Date Night. Again, this is if everything worked, this is the first video one. So, and if not, I will retcon that later. But hopefully, this is the first one.
All get bleeped out.
Yeah. But thank you so much for listening, and we hope you enjoy. As always, you can leave us a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can follow us on Spotify, follow us on the Instagram and all our social medias, and subscribe to us at our YouTube channel, where the videos are actually videos now and not just our logo with audio over it. Yeah, once again, it's been such a blessing to be able to do this for an entire year. With
Amazing.
no stops, no breaks. I mean, breaks, we figured it out. But
I had a kid in this,
yeah,
and we still went through.
we chose to do this at a very hectic time frame for us.
Yeah.
And we've been committed to it. So
yeah, it's nice.
yeah.
To one more year at least.
To another great year, another great season, another great chapter.
Stick around. We got plans.
We got so much more coming. So thank you so much for listening. Look, we have to fill this up.
We got to fill this up.
We have to fill this.
If you'd like to contribute to our beautiful wall of art, message us at Straight Dude Date Night on Instagram, and we'll get in contact on how you can manage to get us some cute little art pieces.
And we'll put stuff up here.
You can
It'll
be
be
up
great.
here,
It'll be great.
even if it's just a picture of your face. I'll put you right here. That'd be awesome.
Okay, well that seems a little over the top.
That's okay.
But we could do it. We could consider that. We could consider that. So with that, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Have a great week. I guess we're doing that. Bye-bye.
Peace.